Okay, so we've all seen them, right? Those videos that go viral, a Siberian Husky that sounds like it's actually saying, I love you, or, an adorable little rabbit just snuggling up on a couch. They look like the absolute perfect, cuddly roommates. Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain. This explainer is all about the pets that are, well, secretly a full-time job. We're going to look at why that initial cute factor can sometimes be a huge trap for someone who isn't prepared. So let's dive in and see which pets might be way more than you bargained for. First up, we've got a category I like to call the lifestyle changers. And these are the animals that don't just, move into your house. They pretty much demand that you completely change your life and your home to fit their very specific needs. And we are starting with that internet superstar, the Siberian Husky. I mean, everyone loves that stunning, wolf-like look, but let me tell you, that wild appearance comes with some equally wild requirements. So here's the myth. You're getting this beautiful, majestic, wolf-like companion. But the reality? You are adopting a furry Houdini with a vocal range that, trust me, your neighbors are going to get to know very, very well. It's a massive contrast. What really catches people off guard is just the sheer scale of what they need. I'm not talking about a quick walk around the block. We're talking 2 to 3 hours of intense exercise every single day. And if they don't get it, they don't just chew on a shoe. They will literally eat your drywall. No joke. And they don't bark. They howl. Some people even call it a scream. This dog isn't for someone in an apartment. It's for like a marathon runner who has a fortress for a backyard. All right, next up in our lifestyle changers is an animal that almost everyone mistakes for a simple starter pet, the rabbit. Yeah, the classic myth is you get a rabbit for your kids, you put it in a cage, and that's it. The reality could not be more different. Rabbits are not cage animals. They're actually super fragile, highly social creatures that need a ton of space and, surprise, have some seriously expensive medical needs. And those hidden complexities are where the real challenges pop up. They need free roam time in a room that's been totally bunny-proofed because they will chew everything. And for some reason, they seem to have a special love for expensive power cords. Their digestive system's incredibly delicate. A condition called GI stasis can actually be fatal in just a matter of hours. And you can't just pop into any vet. You need a specialist, a rabbit-savvy vet, which, you guessed it, costs a whole lot more. Our final pet in this category is the African gray parrot, and people are just captivated by their incredible ability to mimic human speech, but that intelligence is a total double-edged sword. So the myth is you get a cool bird that talks to you. The reality? You are adopting a creature with the emotional intelligence of a human toddler. A toddler that will very likely outlive you. This isn't just a pet, it's a lifelong dependent. Just look at that number. 60+ years. Let that sink in for a second. This is an animal that you might have to literally include in your will. It is a multi-generational commitment. And here's the crucial part. With the emotional capacity of a 3 to 5-year-old kid, they form these incredibly deep bonds. And if they feel ignored or stressed, even for a day, they can actually resort to self-harm, like plucking out all of their own feathers. It is a profound, profound responsibility. Okay, let's move on to our next category. I call these the deceptive specialists. These are the pets that might look really low maintenance on the surface, but owning one is less about pet care and more about becoming some kind of lab technician. First up is the bearded dragon. You see them just chilling out in their tanks at the pet store and you think, how hard can that be? The answer is very. Owning one is basically like running a living science project. So the myth is that it's just this simple lizard that kind of hangs out. But the reality is you aren't just caring for a lizard. You are meticulously maintaining its entire complex ecosystem. Honestly, the animal is the easy part. The environment is the real work. And maintaining that ecosystem is a daily job. You have to calibrate specific UVB and heat lamps to create a very precise temperature gradient across their whole enclosure. If a bulb dies and you don't notice right away, they can get metabolic bone disease, which is just devastating. And, oh yeah, you'll most likely be keeping a colony of live insects, like crickets or roaches, somewhere in your house just to feed them. And that brings us to our final and maybe most deceptively difficult pet, the Bengal cat. They are absolutely gorgeous, but that exotic leopard look comes with a personality to match. People get a Bengal thinking they're just getting a house cat with a really cool paint job, but what they're actually getting is a super high drive, highly intelligent house tiger that will absolutely run your life. You don't own a Bengal, it owns you. And their energy shows up in some pretty surprising ways. This is not a lap cat, it's an athlete that needs constant stimulation. If you don't provide floor-to-ceiling cat trees for them to climb, well, they'll just start swinging from your curtains. And they also have this famous fascination with water, so they might just hop in the shower with you, or decide their water bowl is a personal splash park, right there on your hardwood floors. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The point isn't that these are bad pets. They are incredible, amazing animals. The problem is that they are way too often put in the wrong homes by people who just weren't prepared for the reality of it all. This really is the golden rule of pet ownership. Before you fall in love with a cute face, you have to do your research and be brutally honest with yourself about whether you can handle the absolute worst case scenario for that animal. Because if you can truly handle the worst parts, then you absolutely deserve the best parts. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Which of these pets' realities was the biggest surprise to you? Was it the drywall-eating husky, the 60-year commitment of a parrot, or the house tiger Bengal? Because thinking about that gap between what we think and what's real, that's the very first step to becoming a truly great owner.